Howdy YouTube, and welcome to this episode of Gunman. So today we're going to do just another bit of a chat. We've got some spray painting going on in the background, and I'm going to be talking about apprentices today, what it's like to be an apprentice, and maybe just a bit of advice. So I got the idea for this video when I was on the phone to a friend last night. He's a panel beater, and we worked together a little while ago. I've since left that shop, but I just said, oh, you know, how's it all going up there with the lads and with the apprentices and that? And he goes, oh, one of the apprentices, you know, like probably second or third year by now, and he's like, oh, the poor guy never gets like the opportunity to paint, so it's not really his fault that he's not really any good at his job. And I'm like, it's only so long that you can use that excuse at the end of the day. So this is my message to apprentices who don't get the opportunity to paint, look, there's obviously always going to be the circumstances when your tradesmen and your bosses are literally just assholes, you know. But from my experience here in Australia, 99%, or let's just say 95 to 96% of the time, you get treated pretty well, you know. Like, yeah, you might have to do an hour of overtime that they don't pay you for or whatever, but we've all been through that, you know. However, that shouldn't really happen. You shouldn't, but sometimes it does, you know. But the main topic was getting the opportunity to paint, and you're not going to get it in your first year a great deal. Some people will. Some people, like, you know, first month or two, they'll just be thrown in the booth. Personally, that's not how I teach my apprentices. Your first year is more about just taking in the surroundings. You'll be doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of prep work and stuff like that. And what I was saying to my mate is a counter argument to his argument that they don't get the opportunity. And I said, man, by the time you're a third year, you get in there and you get that shop clean, and by morning tea you should have a couple of panels prepped up without the tradesman having to tell you. Once you've prepped it up, get it in the booth, mask it up, organize the color, mix the color up, preps all it down for him. Next thing, you're painting it, mate, you know. An apprentice with a good amount of initiative shouldn't have to really ask that much to paint. You should be, and I was, when I was like a third or fourth year, I would literally go in and I would tell my tradesmen which cars I was painting. Yeah, I was a bit of an arrogant little bastard back then, and I thought I knew it all. I now know that I didn't know it all, and I still don't know it all, but yeah, just, you have to show initiative in your own, and it's gonna benefit you in the long run, you know. Just sitting back and waiting to be told that you're gonna paint something, you could be waiting for a long time, you know. There's lots to like about this trade, but at the end of the day, you got to make it is what you make of it, you know. I started this trade when I just turned 17 in the year 2000, and I'd left home, so I grew up in the country, and I was living in the city. I did my apprenticeship in Melbourne, so I didn't have much of a choice to be good at my trade. If I wasn't good at my trade, I didn't get paid because I would get the sack, and I had nowhere to live. So I think some of the problem with some kids, that I'm not saying all of them, but some of the young people, they're living at home, mum makes them dinner, you know, you can take a sick day, mum will call the boss up for me, you know. There comes a time in your life when you've got to be an adult and say, you know what, I'm going to make a real go out of this. And you, at the end of the day, like, if you take that kind of an attitude, you'll be the one benefiting from it, you know. When you're the one that can turn around and smash the work out, you're doing good quality work, you're sort of indispensable in a way. You'll be one of the last people to go. They can't afford to lose their best worker, you know, so they will pay you well. Personally, at this point in time, I'm getting paid quite well, because I've done that for myself. I've made myself the best tradesman I could, and you do that by picking up tips and tricks off all the people that you work with. And yeah, look, in the West anyway, I know there are some circumstances where you just work with arseholes, and my advice to you in that instance, if if you're going to work every day and you are working your ass off, doing all the prep work, and they're not letting you paint and you're asking to paint, well, that's when you do leave. You just go and get another job. There should be enough work out there for you to get yourself a job, but the situation you will find yourself in, if you're a tradesman and you haven't painted much and you can't colour match and you're getting runs left, right and centre still, you're not any use to anyone, because you're gonna want half decent wage. Who's gonna pay you $800 a week to rework every second job? You're gonna be costing them money. And I've seen it happen too many times. People finish their trade and then go and sell cars. You know, it's a massive waste of 4 years, because the 4 years that you spent doing your apprenticeship, you're on peanuts. You're not making great money, you know. And then as soon as you finish that, you realise that you're no good at the trade. And at the end of the day, 90% of the time, that goes back onto you. It reflects on you, and I think it reflects on you poorly about your work ethic and your ability to take in what's around you. Because what's around you is a functioning panel shop, and most panel shops will have at least a competent. It might not always be a great painter, but most shops do have a good painter in them. But at the most minimum, a competent painter, and even a competent painter, you'll be able to pick a lot up off them. You know, even little things like if you are getting runs, that's something that you can fix. You know, fix it with your gun settings. Wind that fluid in a little bit if you found you're getting too many runs. Color matching, that's something that does take time, but again, you've got to be there with your tradesman and learn from what he's doing. Stand up there and say, oh, so what are you doing with this color? Yeah, and what are you going to put in it from there, and how much of it? Stand by him and watch him. One other thing, the way I've always treated my apprentices is, if you can't get your prep right, you're not painting. If you can't prep a blend up without cutting through, if you can't mask it up properly, like get those basic things right, why would I trust you with a spray gun? So just focus on getting the little things right, and the big things will come. But yeah, that's about all I really wanted to say in this video. Just another short one, another sort of discussion starter. I've been enjoying reading the comments on one of the recent videos that I did about that story of mine. So if you do have any other ideas of topics that I could talk about, shoot them in the comments down below. And we'll leave it at that. And until then, get out there and paint some shit. Thanks for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.